tab and click on this green Done button. You get an award and learning points for each step you complete. Under the video box, you will see what step the teacher is currently on. Under that, you will see the chat feed. The chat feed shows you how everyone is doing, and you can put your own entries into it by clicking on the blue chat button and entering your question or message. Or you can give a quick thumbs up or down, or even put in emojis by using the green react button. After the teacher has shown you how to do a step, click on the exit full screen button to make the video go back small. Try it now. Okay, that's it for the instructions. We can't wait to see what you create. And remember, you can always come up with your own ideas and add
Hey guys, what's happening? Welcome back to our live lessons. I see a few more people on this week than last week. I think last week was a busy week for a lot of people, so we didn't have a huge turnout for the live lesson. Good to see people back online. This is our, I don't know if it's our second last one for the year, but we have next week, which is the 17th of December. We will do a live lesson that day. The following Wednesday is Christmas Eve, so I'm not so sure we will do a live lesson that day. And then the following lesson after that, the following Wednesday after that, is New Year's Eve. So we mightn't have live lessons actually for a few weeks after that. Now, we have this week and we have next week. Because next week is going to be our last one before Christmas, I might leave it open to you guys online now to decide what we're going to do. It might be a good idea to do a kind of free-for-all Christmas coding competition kind of thing, where I can be online. We can actually do a live kind of competition where we do the full hour and we see who can come up with the best game in the hour. Not saying that that's 100%, but it is an option. And you can kind of use whatever platform you want. So it might be a cool idea. And I can, try and come up with something myself live to keep it semi-interesting. But yeah, good to see people online again. A lot of faces here, all the typical real gamers online, Big Head Boys online, Buffman's online, Milan's online, A-Man is online, and Dr. Sigma is back in action. Good to see everyone. Dr. Sigma is excited. Just trying to read through the chat. Sorry, I should have the chat open there. How are we? We'll talk about it at the end. What we'll do next week. I'll leave it kind of up to you guys to decide what we're going to do. Today's lesson, guys, we're going to be working on is penalty shootout, where you are going to code a penalty shooting game. Like I said, guys, some of you might have done a project very similar to this before in the past, and you are more than welcome to Beans on holidays back next week. Good to hear, Real Gamer. Dr. Sigma, if you have a question, stick it in the chat. I can see you're trying to get my attention there. Yeah, so if you've done lessons similar to this before, there is no harm in going back over lessons and trying to improve on them. I find a lot of people, when they do a lesson for the first time, it's very, very basic. And definitely as people do more projects and they see more kind of elements of Scratch and Make Code and see more kind of possibilities, and they go back to old projects, they often make them like way better and they add way more elements to it. So just something to note is that we could do that. We can improve this project. There's nothing in this that says this project is 100% finished, as in it's perfect and doesn't need to be touched. You can always add different elements to it. I might try to add a few of them elements today, but let's see how we get on with the standard lesson before I do that. So I'm just going to share my screen, guys. Typical lesson structure. If you're tuning in for the first time, anyone who's tuning in after the fact, this is how it works. I'm going to show the steps on my screen. You can copy my steps if you want. If you want, you can just copy along the steps that are on the screen and you'll still get the same project. Or if you, well, I suppose if you're watching back, this will be no good to you. But if anyone has any questions, throw them in the chat, and we will answer them as quick as we can. So, guys, our first step, we normally have a picture at the start of the lesson, so we don't for this one. Wolfman, there's no on backdrop clicks block. Okay. I will hopefully get to that in due course, Wolfman. So my first step, guys, is opening up the Scratch website. If you, actually, was my screen being shared? It is. If you have a Scratch account, it will be a good time to sign in. If you don't, no panic. You can just create a new project. It's fine. Here is my Scratch project. And as always, just add a title to it so you know what it is. Penalty shoot. It's always good just when you look back through projects, you know what you're talking about. You know what each lesson is. Okay. Our first step is to delete the cat. We don't need the cat in this project. So we're going to start off with a completely empty project with nothing going on, because we want to make it completely new from absolutely nothing. So we don't need anything blocking the way. So no cat in the Scratch project. And when you've done that, guys, if you wouldn't mind, just click on steps, done on each one. Let me just have a look at this. There is a when stage clicked. If you, Buffman, what you need to do is click on the backdrop picture, and then you should get a different set of cats. Right now, all your code is going towards, I'm guessing, the football or probably the football. You need to be talking to the backdrop. So go into the backdrop, click that a few times, and it should be under events. Real Gamer, you're building a gaming PC. Oh my God. That sounds expensive. Hopefully that'll be a good use of time. A gaming PC. And what exactly does a gaming PC do that my PC wouldn't? I know it processes a lot faster. I don't really play video games on my computer, so I don't know. Is it better to build your own PC or to have just a PlayStation? Why is a gaming PC always better? People seem to prefer them. But I've never really understood the difference, I suppose. I know some people like just having the PC and the mouse and things like that, but I always thought a controller for PlayStation or Nintendo Switch or something, I always thought those controllers felt a little bit easier. So let me know, why is a gaming PC better? And when you've done step one, let's go to step two. So we need to download and add the goal backdrop. Now, if you look at the sprite gallery or backdrop gallery in Scratch, you will not see one. Well, you'll see this one that has the goal, actually. It's actually not far off. So if you wanted to, you could use this, but the issue with it is the goal here is very small. So it's not great for the game that we're looking to make. So I'm just going to delete that from the project. What I'm going to do, instead of drawing my own, I'm going to literally take this one that we have in the Scratch or in the lesson. So how to do that? We've given a little, we've given some instructions here of how to do it. So we're going to click on this image, and I'm going to use my mouse and right click. That's the one that gets all the options up. And you'll see there you have an option to save the image. So I'm going to, Janie Mac, my phone is very loud. We are going to save the image of that goal. You can call it goal. It's called steps _SP goal backdrop. I'm just going to save it as that. It's in the downloads folder if you're ever looking for it. Let's make sure you know where it's going. And then in Scratch, we need to upload. So if you go to Scratch, you hover the mouse over this bottom right-hand side where the backdrop section is. And the first option is to choose a backdrop from the gallery. Second is paint one. Third is a surprise, which I think is like random. And then the last one, the one at the very top, is upload backdrop. So I'm going to click that. It should open with the files on your computer. And our very top one should be the goal backdrop. When you open it, you should see the goal appearing in your project. Hopefully. And you can use the scratch goal, the one that they have in their gallery. It's a little bit cleaner in terms of the visual. The issue is that the goal is too small. Now, what you could do, let's say if I wanted to change this one, if I was going to use it, because people here have done a little scratch before, what you can do is open up that picture, kind of grab and draw a square around the part you want, and you can actually make it bigger, which is something that, or you can even just zoom in, but that's very enough. You can do this. So then one here. Am I even zoomed here? Oh, I don't think the zoom actually doesn't work. You need to grab and drop and make it bigger. And that's the way that you can make it bigger. You can do that. Probably doesn't make a huge difference goal-wise. And maybe the second one actually looks a little bit bigger. You want it to be big enough because if it's too small, you're not going to be able to click, and it's going to be awkward, and the game's not going to be as fun. So you want to make it as good as possible. So you can do whichever one you prefer. It really doesn't matter too much. I'm just stuck here. Okay. Let me just get the chat back up, make sure everything's okay with that. Sometimes, I'm not sure why it happens, but sometimes people copy and paste the whole. Trust me, while it is more expensive, you can do so much more. PS5s are made for gaming. You can make your own. You can make your own PC. You decide if it's 500, 1,000, or 5,000, and you have so much more path to upgradability. Okay, so the thing is, like, do you know if they release a PS6, which they will, I'm sure, at some point, that all your PS5 stuff is kind of wasted. So whereas the computer you can kind of update. That makes sense if you're into it. I always say if you're into something and you use something, it can be money well spent. As long as you're using it, there's no such thing as a waste of money. And is there games then that just exist on PC? All the games are on PC, aren't they? Like, you don't have there's no games that are just PlayStation and not on PC, I don't think. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting distracted. We're going to add the soccer sprite from the sprite gallery. So back to coding. I'm going to look in the sprite gallery. I'm going to look for a football. There's a few types of balls, but I think there is a soccer ball. I should look in the sports section. Is there not? Oh, there it is, yeah. It's called soccer ball. How can you tell this website is American? So we want to say right now our size, because the size of the ball is going to change. As Father Ted said, this ball is small, soon it will be far away. To make the ball look like it's moving, we're going to make it shrink as it gets kicked. So we need to kind of reset that every time the ball reappears in the penalty spot. So when green flag is clicked, we want to say set size to 100%, which is just the default size. And we want to say go to the penalty spot, which you decide where it fits, somewhere in the middle towards the front, and pull out that go. It doesn't need to be exactly what we have here. As long as it's around the middle, that will be fine. And I'm sure you guys have a lot of Christmas shows coming up. I'm sure the pressure's on. Teachers are losing their mind, trying to organize singing. Hope everything is going well. Hope the preparation is going well. What we are going to do next, guys, is we're going to choose how to shoot. And this is a little bit complicated, so I'm just going to wait 1 second, make sure everyone's on the same page. I know we are clicking along. That's really good. Real Gamer, I noticed you haven't clicked done on any step, not to be given out. But and Amen, I'm not sure if you've clicked done on Buffman hates Carol services. I'd say you're not alone there, Buffman. I'd say there's a lot of people not the biggest fans of it. So our next step, guys, is that we are going to next week in the parish church, and I'm doing a reading. Good man, Real Gamer. A reading. You must be going well. What we're going to do, guys, we need a bit of code here that says when the backdrop is clicked, broadcast shoot. Now, there's a little bit going on here. If you look in events, you won't find that when backdrop is clicked. And this is what I think somebody was talking about at the start, and they were concerned about it. But that's because we're talking right now to the football. We need to talk to the backdrop. So if you click the backdrop, you'll get a different set of codes up here. And then we will have that when stage clicked. Okay. When stage is clicked, we want to broadcast a message. Now, this is a really important part of coding. What's the message? Shoot. Now, a message is really useful when you're making a very complicated game. A message basically sends out a message to all the sprites and all the backgrounds of Scratch. So you can do a really big change or a really big effect based off one thing. So rather than having to say, when stage is clicked, make the ball do this, make the ball do that, the ball has to go here, the keeper has to do this. We can just save all ourselves a lot of time and say broadcast shoot, and it's going to save us time down the line. Working really well through the steps here, guys. Just zoom in a little bit to my code so you can see them. So you can see where we're headed with this, guys. We're heading towards broadcasting a message shoot. This means that by clicking the backdrop, you will be clicking the backdrop. So add the following code to the backdrop to broadcast the message. So messages are a great way to start a piece of code at a particular time. That's what it is. But yeah, you probably don't need to go into too much detail yet. You'll probably see it more than we can explain it. So what does the ball do when it gets this message? So go back to your ball sprite, and we need to give it a bit of context. So when the ball receives shoot, the message. So once we click the backdrop, click broadcast the message shoot. When the ball gets that message, what does he do? We want to say point towards the mouse pointer, because that's where you've just clicked. We want to say, and we're going to say repeat 30 times. You can always change that if you need to. It depends on how it looks on your screen. Repeat 30 times is change size by 0. Sorry, change size by -2. So it looks. And move 8 steps. So this depends on how fast. Oh my God. That depends on how fast you want the ball to go. So let's have a look at what that looks like. Click the green flag and try and point and move the ball somewhere. And you get the nice effect of the ball shrinking as it moves away. Now, the thing is, if you are aiming bottom right, because it's moved 30, it's just going to keep going past the post. So you're going to need to shoot in a little bit at times. It's maybe not the perfect system, but it's what we got. If you're happy going for the top corners, you'll get it. Can you go straight down the middle? If you go straight in the middle, he kind of shoots up. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there is a solution to that. I'd be interested to see you guys can do it. bit of coding on here. That's a good challenge, actually. So our ball is moving right now. Yeah, we're going pretty well. Just looking at some of these little real world uses. So concepts from the Scratch app apply to developing video games like FIFA, where coding handles ball physics, player animations, and collision detection to detect realistic penalty shootouts. So there's a lot of code going on behind FIFA. You can imagine this is in Scratch. This is quite, I don't want to say basic because there's a lot going on here. But you can imagine how much more detailed FIFA is. It's not even called FIFA anymore. It's called EA Sports or something like that. So whatever it's called these days, you can play it on your gaming computers. Although I think FIFA is maybe a bit of a casual game for people who have gaming computers. I think maybe if you have a gaming computer, you're probably playing something a bit more high tech than just FIFA. Our next move, guys, is to add Casey. We need a goalkeeper. So we're going to use this sprite, Casey. Casey has her arms outstretched, so she really kind of suits the role. She is just in the sprite gallery. Casey's got big hands, so she's perfect for a goalkeeper. Now, she's probably too big when she starts off, so we're going to shrink her. And we're going to set Casey's size to 70. Let me show you what that looks like. So it's a little bit more realistic to the size of a keeper to go. And we want to say Casey's got a lot of costumes. You can have a look at them in the costume section. She got her arms over her head. And she has a little bit of dance. And we can actually incorporate that into the character. So we are saying switch costume to Casey A. And we want to set her in a position. Go to wherever you feel like she belongs in the goal. Point in direction 90, so make sure she's standing up straight. You don't want her on her side because obviously she's going to be diving for the ball. So you want it when it resets for her to be standing up straight and on her side. And we want to set the rotation style, which is interesting for Casey. To left, right. So that's down the bottom of the motion side. Set rotation style, left to right. It basically stops her from falling down. Okay, that's our first few things. Now, just because I'm dealing with people who are pretty good at coding here, do you ever watch football and before the ball is kicked in, you see the goalkeeper kind of like making moves and trying to distract the penalty taker. So what you could do is instead you could say forever wait 0.5 seconds and change costume, and this will kind of make it look like Casey is trying to put you off when you're taking a penalty. So look, you can even do 0.3 seconds. So it looks like Casey's trying to distract you while you're taking your penalty, which I think is a nice touch if you want to add it in. You don't need to. It's completely optional. I just think it's a nice touch. Completely optional. I think most people are with me, but I'm waiting on a few people, so I'm just going to hang there for a second, guys. I don't want to rush anybody. I'm just going to let Casey dance. I'm still going to shoot. I can still shoot around her. Oh, I missed that one. I'm going to go to the next step, guys. Is just make the goalkeeper dive. So Casey is going to jump towards the ball actually, she's not going to jump towards the ball. So when we click the backdrop and we get that, broadcast that goes around, Casey's going to have a different reaction to the ball, obviously. So when Casey receives shoot, she is going to switch to costume D. I don't think D. I think switch costume to Casey. Casey B is the one with her arms up. I think that maybe suits the goal. You can pick your own. Doesn't really matter what costume she changes to. We want her to point in direction. So that's in motion. Point in direction. And we're not picking one in particular. So pick random. And drop it in here. And instead of saying 1 to 10, we're minus 180 to 180. So she picks any direction basically in the goal. And she moves 100 steps. So that moving 100 steps is basically pushing her one direction or the other. So let's say if we do this, let's have a go of it. Oh, she came out towards me. She keeps coming out towards me. I feel like it's a bit too close so she can't run out towards me. She saved that one. She still dances. Can I make her stop doing that? Maybe I can do a repeat until. I don't really use the repeat until very often. Doesn't really fit in there. Repeat until maybe we don't even need it. We could say, you know what? I'm going to remove the next costume element. I'm just going to say put her in one costume. I'm sure you could. I just don't want to waste time in trying to get her to go the way I want her to. Right, so when we have that, Casey is going to jump to a random side of the goal and try and save our shot. But even if she gets in the way of it at the minute, there are no consequences and nothing happens in the game, which is obviously going to be our next step. To fix, we're going to add in a little extra feature there. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead with that next step, guys. It seems like everyone's working on task. Everyone is kind of with me. Okay, so we need to detect if the keeper makes a save. At the moment, the keeper doesn't stop the ball when he makes a save. Is Casey a boy or girl? I'm not sure. So let's add code to detect that. Add the following codes of the soccer ball sprite underneath the move 8 steps. So if I go back to the soccer ball, we have it here, that move 8 steps. So, Wolfman, good man. Still in that repeat, we need to say if, and then if touching Casey, then what happens? We are going to say it's saved for 2 seconds, and we are going to stop all. Or you can say stop this script. But it really doesn't matter. Stop all the script doesn't really matter. So let's have a go. Stop missing first. So if the ball hits Casey, it's saved. She jumped right on top of it. She's too good of a keeper. So what we could do to make Casey a little bit more interesting, rather than move 100 steps, we could say repeat 10 times, move 10 steps, so that it'll look a little bit more interesting. So it actually looks like she's moving. She's like reading my mind. I think that works a little bit better. I think it's a little nicer. Because it looks like she moves then rather than just popping up. Buff man, let me see it. Goal! I like your whistle, man. Let's see. She's a good goalkeeper. Goal! That's a good game. I like that one. I can give you a comment. Don't forget, guys, to click done on steps. I'm looking at step 7 and Real Gamer. Let's see, has once again forgotten. So has no, Dr. Sigma hasn't. Big head boy. Oh, there he is. Doing step. You know what I mean? Okay, guys, we are going to make now. We are going to detect if we get it in the goals. Right now, if we get it in, there's no real success, to be honest with you. We want to say if it hits the post, though, it's not a goal. So same again, go to soccer ball. If and then block. We want to say if touching. And if touching. Now we're going to use a color for this. So this is going to depend on what goal you're using. So I'm going to pull that out and drop in this shooting color. I'm going to get the little dropper. And I'm going to pick out the goal. If it touches the goal, then same thing here. Have the, instead of saying it saves, say it hits the post for 2 seconds, and again, stop this script. Real Gamer's working on something. Sorry to interrupt you. So let's just try that out. If I try and hit the post, if this goalkeeper would give me 1 minute. It hits the post. This goalkeeper is a nightmare. I just can't get it past her. Can't stop scoring goals either. So once you hit the post, the last thing we need to do is that we need to say what happens if it doesn't hit the post, or if it doesn't hit Casey. I'm going to assume you aimed it at the goal, which I think should be fair. Because if it doesn't do any of these other things, I'm just going to say it's a goal. Say, and I think I'm going to take some inspiration from somebody else about it there. Goal! Troy Parrott. So let's try and score a goal. Goal! Oh. Now, if I wanted to make it a little bit more, if I wanted to like black out the rest of it, so it's just the goals, you'd have to probably add a color to it, which I don't really want to do because it's going to be messy. But you could grab a color like red and just be like, you could do this and be like, oh, if it hits the red, then it doesn't count. But I think it looks messy, and I just think it's probably not a point of it because no one's going to aim outside the goal anyway. So probably not much of a point of that. I'm just going to look at the super penalty challenge, which is our extension challenge on this lesson, because I think we could have a look. Let's have a look at this game developer. A game developer creates video games and consoles and devices. These programming skills like you're learning on Scratch. No. Real world applications. That's all amazing. So, well done on creating your penalty shootout game. Now it's time for a fun challenge to test what you've learned. Add a new sprite to your game. Choose any animal from Scratch library, like a dog or bird. Make it appear at a random spot on the left side of the screen when you click to shoot. Then have it move quickly across the fields towards the goal, as if it's a surprise defender looking to block the ball. So now what we know about messages, movement, and randomness, let's make it work. Can I make our defender move fast enough to reach the goal area? Try it out and see if it adds excitement to your game. Well, they give you the code and everything. So if we wanted to do that, if we want to add an extra sprite, let's say a bird, let's say a bird just swooped across in front of the goal while you were taking a shot. Let me find a good bird. We could do a bat. Might have to be. Oh, toucan, that's cool. Let's say the toucan. I might make him smaller than that. It's very big. I would say when the green flag's clicked, set size to maybe 50%. Let's have a look at what that looks like. Yeah, that's probably the right size. Now I don't want him I don't want him to look like this. I want him to look like he's flying. So these two. I wanted to kind of swap between them. I actually might delete that one. So I just have the other two, the flying kind of goes. I'm basically going to say forever. Wait 0.2 seconds and change costume or next costume. That's how I'll get him to fly. There we go. Flapping his wings. And I'm going to say when the toucan receives the shoot command, actually I'm going to tell him to hide. And I'm going to go to somewhere over the left-hand side of the screen. So when he gets that shoot message, what's he going to do to prompt him on? Well, we're going to say when he receives shoot, he is going to go somewhere along the left-hand side of the screen. So I'm going to pull out that go to X. I can probably delete all of that first one. Go to X something, Y something, and I'm going to put a random one there. So actually X, I do want them to be over that side of the screen. So the X can say about minus 250, but the Y needs to be random, and the random can go 0 or maybe like minus 180 to plus 180. So when he receives shoot, he's going to go to the left-hand side of the screen. He's going to appear either up or down. He is going to show. And we want him to fly across the screen. So we are going to say repeat. I don't know how many times, maybe 50 times. Move. Or change X maybe. Change X by. I'm not sure. Let's have a look at how it looks. Okay, it needs to be a little more than 50. I like the speed one though. Let's say 60. Let's say 70. And I'm going to say actually just add a little randomness to it. The speed is going to be random. So either 8 being the slowest, maybe 15 being the fastest. So 15 would be a lot faster. Let's have a look at that. Maybe even faster than that. 8 to 30, so sometimes it's going to move really fast. Yeah, there you go. That's fast. No, it might be too fast. Maybe 20. Anyway, So the bird moves across the screen. And if you wanted to make it interesting, you can say, if touching ball. Actually, you can add this to the ball sprite. Basically the same as what we have already, but we need to say for the bird. If touching toucan, then stop all. Or we need to say it's saved by the bird. I'll stop all. So let's have a look at that. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this because it's going to be very random. Oh, saved by the bird, that's fine. Just saved. Casey's such a good keeper. Cool. This makes it very difficult, actually. There's a lot of challenges to it. Saved by the bird. That was a good example. Hits the post. Actually makes the game very difficult. So I'm going to share my project in, guys. I like sharing my projects in because so you want to set a thumbnail if you want. I'm going to proceed with the share. I'm going to put it into the chat. So if you guys want to play my version of the game, you're more than welcome to. That's about it. I didn't copy it. I'll copy link. And share it in there. If anyone wants to play my game, I'm just going to look at Buffman's. Buffman, for some whatever reason, the server is scratching its head. Make sure you share it up the top of the screen so that it goes live. And you can play it if you want. Like goal. 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 Oh, hits the post. It's a good game. I'm going to make it harder, you'd add other elements. You'd add other animals flying the opposite direction and things like that. But I think for now that was good enough. Now, just before we go on to a blue kit, guys, I'm going to ask you one question. While I'm getting the blue kit set up, I'm going to ask, what would you like to do next week? Oh, this is completely different. Oh, is this our platformer game from last week? Yeah, very cool. I'm going to ask guys, what would you want to do next week? Do you want to do a Christmas game? Do you want to do a Christmas competition? Game jam. I like the sound of that. Real gamer. That's a cool idea. So game jam, where everyone kind of comes up with games and plays each other's games and things like that. That could be a good idea. Maybe we'll do that and the Christmas idea. So I would like it to be that you make the game during the session rather than just bring a game you made from home or made before, because otherwise you could just make game jam, please. Am I right in the game jam? Is a game jam just we all kind of play? We all bring games that we like and we kind of play through them. If it is, let me know because I am out of touch with the lingo. I'm just going to blue kit that up, guys. Put in the chat what you'd like to do next week. What's your preference? Because we could really do whatever you want. And we are going to do, I hate some of the ones that they start off with on this. We'll do 2 rounds, guys. If you can do them quickly is the only thing. Equivalent fractions is tempting. I don't love the name that logo owns. Winter trivia, I bet you is silly. I will do a very quick version of this. We'll do a race for this, and then we will do tower defense. Because I know you enjoy that. Oh, a game jam is a theme and time, like a week or an hour. Oh, okay. That sounds like exactly what I'm thinking about. Game jam. Right, next week is game jam. We're gonna come up with a game within the hour, I'm gonna say, because I want you working when you're online. I don't want it to be something you're working all week. I'm not gonna tell you what the game theme is. It'll be something Christmassy, but it won't be make a Christmas game. I'm gonna give you a specific enough one. Now you could use whatever you want. You could use Make Out Arcade. You could use Scratch. You could even use Microbits if you wanted to, if you're very good. But it's up to you to come up with it. So I'm going to come up with a topic next week. I'm going to reveal it on the live lesson. We will hopefully have a little competition. Sorry, there's the Bluka code is 433-284-67, says Dr. Sigma. Very good. Big Head Boys in. Will anyone take up the challenge? Real Game Jammer is also in. Dr. Sigma www. All right, starting in 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, best of luck, everyone. I can't even see. I'm not logged into it, so I can't even see the questions. But I'll keep you posted on the racetrack. Buffster and Dr. Sigma pulling ahead, but very, very shortly. Buffster still in the lead, now on his own. A whole lot of movement down the back. Dr. Sigma wants this win. He is pushing hard. Real Gamer making a charge from the back. Buffetter is number 1. Big Head Boy making moves. If you do want to join and you're not sure how, anyone who is online at the minute, I know there's 1 or 2 people who are not in the game at the minute. If you want to join, you can go to Blukit.com, click join a game, so you look up Blukit. And, mine logged straight in. But if you look it up, you click join a game and you type in our game code, which is today 433-284. But that often will change for our next game anyway. Oh, Dr. Sigma has blocked the screen. Buffster is ahead, coming into the last few questions. He's just ahead. Dr. Sigma's right there with him. Real Gamer not far behind. Big Head Boy is still there as well. They could still push in. Oh, Big Buffster's very close. He's probably going to win if he gets one more question. Big Head Boy third. Dr. Sigma second. And Buffster, he got over the line. All right, guys, we're going to do one round of tower defense, and then we're going to call it a night. We're going to do a different quiz set. We're not going to do the same questions. It'll get quite boring. Baby animals. Oh, that is a great quiz. Whoever came up with that is a very good idea. Baby animals quiz, guys. Tower defense. We're only doing 7 minutes because we've started in 1 minute's time. The code is 373001. Three seven three oh oh one. Upstairs in. Just gonna open up Microsoft Edge and I'll play myself. Join a game. Just with that code again. 373001. Three 73001. And I'm going to start in 1 minute, guys. Or not even. I'm going to start about 30 seconds. Dr. Bomb Clash is in. Okay. Are you ready? If so, let's go. So what map would you like? I do not need a tutorial. Let's go. Baby animals. That's a baby raccoon. It looks like a baby horse. Oh, look at that. It's a rabbit. Anyone wants to join? The code is still 373001. You're more than welcome to join. These animals are so adorable. Oh, I'm gonna not kill them all here. It's gonna slow me down. Pig. What is that? A lemur. I don't know what that is. There's a shark. You'll make sure you take advantage of those double damage days. Skunk. Penguin. Oh. The birds are hard. Annoying ducks. 3 ducks fill up my spots on the board. Not too bad. We've only got 3 minutes left, guys. Jesus, what is that? Some of them are very easy. Oh, make sure you get your double damage in. Some of these animals are adorable. One minute. That's good. Get ready for the big boy. I don't even think I've taken a layer off him before. Alright, guys. Final results are in. And guess who came first? The champ. Just putting in your place, remind you that. Right, guys, next week, Game Jam. Looking forward to it. That's going to be a bit of fun. Very festive theme, I'm sure. And I'll be here. I'll see you next week. I hope you enjoyed that one. See you next week.